In today's hyper-connected world, the constant pressure to share every aspect of our lives can inadvertently hinder personal growth. The more we expose ourselves to the scrutiny of others, the more susceptible we become to the inevitable waves of criticism and negativity. This is not merely anecdotal, it's a well-documented sociological phenomenon. There's an undeniable allure to the idea of retreating from the limelight, of disappearing into the shadows to cultivate a deeper understanding of oneself. This period of intentional seclusion can be incredibly powerful, a time for introspection, experimentation, and profound personal transformation. It's a chance to shed the expectations and opinions of others and embark on a journey of self-discovery, free from the distractions and judgments of the outside world. This period of shadow work can be exhilarating, a time of exciting possibilities and the promise of a renewed self. The anticipation of re-emerging, transformed and revitalized, can be incredibly motivating. However, the true reward lies not in shocking the world with your newfound brilliance, but in the profound internal shift that occurs during this period of seclusion. You learn that the only validation that truly matters is your own, that your journey of self-discovery is a deeply personal and inherently valuable endeavor. Number 1. Shut your mouth. One of the most critical aspects of personal transformation is cultivating the power of silence. Our words, often spoken without conscious thought, can inadvertently hinder our progress. We reveal our vulnerabilities, our anxieties, and our aspirations to others, unwittingly inviting criticism, skepticism, and even sabotage. Therefore, the first crucial step is to exercise strict control over your speech. This doesn't mean becoming a recluse or isolating yourself entirely. However, it demands a conscious effort to limit the amount of information you share about your personal goals and aspirations. This includes refraining from openly discussing your life plans with family, friends, and colleagues. While sharing with loved ones can offer support, it can also inadvertently create unnecessary pressure and expectations. The only exception to this rule should be your life partner, provided you have a deep and trusting relationship where their primary goal is to see you succeed. Controlling your tongue will be challenging. The human tendency to share information is deeply ingrained, a remnant of our evolutionary past. We are wired to connect and communicate, and it takes conscious effort to resist this natural inclination. You must learn to become more mindful of your thoughts, catching them before they translate into spoken words. By cultivating an air of mystery, you create a space for personal growth, free from the distractions and potential negativity of external opinions. This newfound discretion will empower you to move through the world with greater intention and focus, allowing you to cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself and achieve your true potential. Number 2, only care what you think. The second crucial step in your journey of personal transformation is to cultivate a deep sense of inner authority. This involves detaching from the need for external validation and prioritizing your own internal compass. Understand that the opinions of others, while seemingly significant, ultimately have little bearing on your true worth and potential. The illusion lies in our perception. We often overestimate the extent to which others are invested in our lives and our successes. This perceived external pressure can significantly impact our decisions and actions, hindering our ability to pursue our true passions and live authentically. Imagine yourself standing at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. Do you choose the path that you believe will impress your friends, or the path that truly ignites your soul? To overcome this, you must reprogram your mind. Create an idealized version of yourself, the person you aspire to be. This internalized image should embody your values, your aspirations, and your deepest desires. Focus on cultivating a consistent internal dialogue, constantly asking yourself, would this version of myself be proud of this action? Would this decision align with my values and contribute to my personal growth? For example, instead of worrying about what your colleagues might think of your new project idea, ask yourself, does this project truly excite me? Does it align with my professional goals and contribute to my personal growth? By prioritizing the opinions of this idealized self, you gradually shift your focus from external validation to internal authenticity. This process is not easy. It requires consistent practice and a conscious effort to resist the urge to seek approval from others. Remember, true freedom comes from within. When you prioritize your own internal compass, you become less of a puppet to the expectations and opinions of others and gain greater control over your own destiny. I encourage you to share your experiences in the comments. Have you successfully cultivated this sense of inner authority? If so, how did you achieve it? What strategies have you found most effective in detaching from the need for external validation? Number 3, hide your plans. In the pursuit of personal and professional growth, one of the most critical yet often overlooked principles is the power of secrecy. As you embark on this transformative journey, you'll undoubtedly formulate ambitious goals and dreams. The excitement that accompanies these aspirations can be overwhelming, leading to a strong urge to share your plans with those around you. However, resist this temptation. Guard your ambitions closely, as if they were the keys to a hidden treasure. Consider this. Every detail you divulge about your plans diminishes your chances of success by a significant margin. Each time you discuss your aspirations openly, you inadvertently sabotage your own progress. You gratify the curiosity of others while simultaneously undermining your own determination. Well-meaning friends or family members might offer unsolicited advice, doubts, or even try to discourage you from pursuing your goals. These external influences can erode your confidence and derail your momentum. Instead of careless self-disclosure, cultivate surgical intentionality. If seeking guidance or leveraging the expertise of others is necessary, approach these interactions with precision and focus. Crucially, seek advice from those who have already achieved what you aspire to. Learn from their experiences, their successes, and their failures. By engaging with individuals who have walked the path you envision, you gain access to invaluable knowledge and a unique perspective that can significantly enhance your own journey. When seeking advice, reveal only the absolute minimum information required to obtain the necessary knowledge or support. Focus your questions clearly and concisely. Then, gracefully withdraw, returning to the solitude necessary for focused action. By embracing the power of secrecy, you cultivate an environment of focused energy and unwavering commitment. You shield your ambitions from the potential distractions and criticisms of others, allowing your inner drive to flourish. This strategic approach not only increases your chances of success, but also fosters a sense of personal empowerment and unwavering self-belief. Remember, your journey is yours alone. Embrace the power of secrecy and watch your dreams transform into reality. Number 4, hide your progress. In today's hyper-connected world, we are constantly bombarded with images and narratives of success, often presented with a carefully curated veneer of perfection. This constant exposure can inadvertently cultivate a culture of comparison and external validation, where our worth is measured by the number of likes, shares, and followers. However, the path to genuine personal growth often diverges from this path of public display. True transformation thrives in an environment of quiet perseverance and unwavering inner focus, a principle that can be aptly termed hiding your progress. The more we publicize our aspirations and achievements, the more susceptible we become to the negativity and distractions that can derail our journey. Constant external scrutiny can foster self-doubt, anxiety, and the fear of failure. The pressure to maintain a certain image can lead us to prioritize appearances over genuine growth, hindering our ability to embrace challenges and learn from our mistakes. Furthermore, the pursuit of external validation can divert our attention from the true purpose of our efforts, self-improvement. When we constantly seek approval from others, we become dependent on external validation for our sense of self-worth. This dependence can be detrimental to our long-term growth, as it shifts our focus from internal progress to external perception. True transformation often flourishes in the fertile ground of solitude and focused introspection. When we disappear from the constant clamor of social media and the need for external validation, we create a space for genuine self-reflection and unhindered growth. This allows us to delve deeper into our motivations, identify our weaknesses, and cultivate the inner strength necessary to overcome challenges. However, it's crucial to understand that disappearing is not about isolation or detachment. It's about creating a conducive environment for personal growth by minimizing external noise and prioritizing internal focus. Sharing accomplishments with trusted confidantes or seeking guidance from mentors can be valuable, but the primary focus should remain on the internal transformation. The temptation to showcase our achievements, whether it's a newfound physique, increased financial stability, or mastery of a new skill, can be powerful. Yet prematurely sharing our progress can inadvertently derail our journey. The external validation, while seemingly gratifying, can often lead to complacency and hinder further growth. It can divert our attention from the true purpose of our efforts, self-improvement. Therefore, it's essential to cultivate the discipline to resist the urge to flaunt our achievements. Instead, channel that energy back into our efforts, using it as fuel to propel us further along our path. Each victory, each milestone should serve as a reminder of our resilience and a catalyst for continued growth. Number 5. Hide your tears, blood, failures. The path to true greatness is rarely paved with smooth sailing. It is often a treacherous journey fraught with obstacles, setbacks, and moments of profound adversity. While the urge to seek solace in the company of others during these challenging times may be strong, true resilience and growth often emerge from the crucible of solitude. This principle, often referred to as hiding your tears, emphasizes the importance of confronting challenges head-on, embracing the pain, and learning to rise above adversity independently. The journey towards personal growth is inevitably accompanied by moments of intense struggle. We may face physical exhaustion, mental fatigue, and emotional turmoil as we grapple with challenges, encounter setbacks, and confront our own limitations. The instinctual response to these difficulties might be to seek comfort and validation from others, to share our frustrations, and to lament our failures. However, while seeking support from trusted confidantes can be beneficial, excessive reliance on external validation can hinder our ability to develop true resilience and inner strength. True growth often occurs when we confront our challenges head-on, learning to navigate adversity independently. We learn to identify our weaknesses, to confront our fears, and to develop the inner fortitude necessary to overcome obstacles. These periods of solitude, while challenging, provide invaluable opportunities for self-reflection and personal growth. It is during these moments of intense struggle, when we feel like we are bleeding, sweating, and crying in the face of insurmountable odds, that true character is forged. The setbacks, the failures, the moments of deep despair, these are not merely obstacles to overcome, but rather opportunities for profound transformation. Each time we rise from the ashes of defeat, we emerge stronger, more resilient, and more deeply connected to our inner strength. Embrace these moments of adversity. Allow yourself to feel the pain, to acknowledge your limitations, but do not succumb to self-pity. Instead, use these challenges as fuel for your growth. Learn from your mistakes, analyze your failures, and use the lessons learned to propel yourself forward on your journey of self-improvement. Consider an athlete preparing for a major competition. During rigorous training, they may experience moments of intense physical and mental exhaustion, encountering setbacks and injuries that threaten to derail their progress. While seeking support from their coach and teammates is crucial, True resilience emerges when they learn to push through the pain, to overcome their limitations, and to train independently. The path to true greatness is rarely a smooth and effortless journey. It is often a challenging and arduous path, marked by setbacks, failures, and moments of profound adversity. By embracing these challenges, learning to navigate adversity independently, and cultivating inner strength, we can transform our struggles into catalysts for growth, emerging stronger, more resilient, and more deeply connected to our true potential. And now, it's time to transform. Step 1. Set your target. What do you want to change? Transformation starts with a clear goal. You need to know exactly what you're working toward. Do you want to be insanely fit and unrecognizable? Master a high-income skill? Achieve complete financial freedom? Whatever it is, define it with absolute clarity. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see every day. But keep it to yourself. This is your vision, and no one else needs to see it. Step 2. Build your life around success. True success rarely comes to those who merely dabble. It demands unwavering commitment, relentless dedication, and an almost obsessive focus on achieving one's goals. This principle emphasizes the importance of structuring one's life around the pursuit of excellence, ensuring that every action, every decision, aligns with the overarching vision of success. Embracing this crush-it mentality requires a profound shift in perspective. It necessitates viewing life as a finite resource, a precious opportunity to achieve greatness. This realization should fuel an intense desire to make the most of every moment, to dedicate every breath to the pursuit of one's aspirations. This mindset necessitates a meticulous approach to daily life. Every waking hour should be strategically planned and executed with a singular focus on achieving one's goals. This involves creating an environment that supports and facilitates progress. Relocate to an area that provides easy access to fitness facilities or educational resources that align with your goals. Join classes or workshops that impart the necessary skills and knowledge. Furthermore, implementing a structured daily routine is crucial. Allocate specific time slots for focused work on your goals, ensuring you dedicate a significant portion of each day to the pursuit of excellence. Regular self-assessment is equally important. Dedicate a specific day or time each week to review your progress, update your plan, and break down larger goals into smaller, more manageable milestones. This approach demands unwavering discipline and a willingness to make significant sacrifices. It requires prioritizing your goals above all else, making conscious choices that align with your vision of success. This may involve forgoing social engagements, minimizing distractions, and cultivating an environment that fosters intense focus and unwavering dedication. Step 3. Reprogram your mind. Happiness is the grind. True happiness, as paradoxical as it may seem, often lies in the quiet pursuit of excellence, in the crushing it that occurs away from the prying eyes of the world. This journey necessitates a profound shift in perspective, a deliberate reprogramming of the mind to embrace solitude and find joy in the process of personal transformation. Initially, this disappearing act may feel unsettling, even alienating. The quietude, the lack of external validation, may feel strange and uncomfortable. However, with consistent practice, a profound transformation begins to occur. The initial discomfort gradually gives way to a newfound appreciation for the tranquility of solitude, for the freedom to focus solely on personal growth without the distractions of external expectations. This shift in mindset is crucial for achieving lasting fulfillment. It involves cultivating a deep sense of inner peace and satisfaction, finding joy in the process of self-improvement, and recognizing that true happiness stems from internal growth rather than external validation. Once this transformation has taken place, the desire to reappear in the limelight may diminish significantly. The newfound sense of inner peace and fulfillment, cultivated through dedicated self-improvement, surpasses the fleeting gratification of external recognition. This does not imply isolation or detachment from the world. Rather, it signifies a shift in priorities, a realization that true happiness lies within, not in the pursuit of external validation. This newfound sense of inner peace allows one to engage with the world from a place of strength and authenticity, to pursue meaningful connections and contribute to society in a genuine and fulfilling way. Ultimately, this journey of self-discovery leads to a life lived on one's own terms, a life characterized by continuous growth, a relentless pursuit of excellence, and a profound sense of inner peace. The shadow, once a source of fear and discomfort, becomes a sanctuary for personal growth, a space where true potential can be unleashed. Want to unlock an incredible cheat code for life? Watch this video now. The path to true happiness lies in freeing yourself from the weight of worries about things you cannot control. Life is full of events and circumstances that may appear troubling, but the distress they cause does not come from the events themselves. It arises from your perception of them. The mind has the power to reinterpret, to shift focus, and to find peace even in the midst of difficulty. At any moment, you can choose to see the world differently, and in doing so, you can transform your experience of it. The greatest obstacle to truly living is placing all your hopes in an uncertain tomorrow while neglecting the richness of today. Too often, we surrender the present moment to thoughts of what may come, straining for a future that has not yet arrived, and in doing so, we abandon the only time that truly matters, the now. Why spend your energy chasing shadows when life is unfolding right before you? The gift of existence is not in some distant someday, but in the beauty and opportunities of today. We are not disturbed by the events of life, but by our interpretations of them. External circumstances hold no inherent power over us. Their impact is determined by the meaning we assign to them. Consider death, a concept that many dread. Yet Socrates, a man of great wisdom, did not fear it. Why? Because he did not perceive death as something dreadful. Fear of death, or anything else, is born from the stories we tell ourselves, not from the reality itself. When you feel hindered, upset, or grieved, resist the urge to blame others or external forces. Instead, turn inward and examine your own judgments, for it is there that true freedom and peace can be found. The way we respond to life's challenges reveals our level of understanding. The ignorant blame others for their suffering, casting responsibility outward to avoid introspection. Those who are learning begin to take responsibility for their own thoughts and actions, realizing the role they play in shaping their experiences. But the truly wise blame neither others nor themselves, for they have transcended the need for blame altogether. They accept life as it is, without resistance, understanding that everything unfolds as part of a greater whole. Life is precious, yet many squander it, longing for night during the burdens of day and dreading dawn during the quiet of night. They are caught in a cycle of discontent, forever seeking something beyond their reach. True wisdom is not found in yearning for what you lack, but in celebrating what you already have. Gratitude transforms the mundane into the extraordinary. It teaches you to see abundance where others see scarcity, and to find joy in the smallest moments. To live fully, embrace the present with an open heart and a calm mind. Release the need to control what lies beyond you and focus instead on mastering your thoughts and actions. Remember that happiness is not a destination, but a way of being. It is found in appreciating the now, taking responsibility for your perceptions, and letting go of the illusions that bind you. In this, you will find freedom, peace, and the wisdom to live a life of meaning and fulfillment. Live of goof life, live virtuously. If just gods exist, they will judge you by your character, not your rituals. If gods are unjust, they are unworthy of worship. If no gods exist, your legacy of integrity will endure in the hearts of those you've touched. True peace doesn't come from changing your surroundings, but from transforming yourself. True happiness lies in embracing the present moment without fixating on what the future may bring. It's about finding peace in what we have and accepting that what we need is already sufficient. A wise person doesn't long for what they lack, but understands that contentment stems from within. Life's greatest treasures are not external, but found in cultivating a mind that is free, steady, and unburdened by fear or desire. When we stop chasing fleeting joys and focus on what truly matters, we realize that virtue is the highest good, and everything else is fleeting. To live wisely is to recognize that external circumstances don't shape us. Instead, they reveal our true character. We must stop seeking life to unfold according to our wishes, and instead learn to accept things as they are, trusting that this acceptance will bring us inner peace. A fulfilled life doesn't come from accumulating wealth or possessions, but from mastering our desires and maintaining self-control. In times of hardship, we must remember that the true measure of a man is not in avoiding difficulty, but in his ability to face adversity with grace and wisdom. Embrace life as it comes, recognizing that all we can control is how we respond to it. Acknowledge the inevitability of death, but let it be a reminder to live fully, savoring each moment as if it might be our last. The essence of a meaningful life is found in the small, daily decisions, rising earlier, going for a walk, reading a book, or simply being present with the people we love. These habits, built over time, form the foundation of lasting happiness. Life is about balance, appreciating the past, preparing for the future, and fully living in the present. Looking for the future in the past. When we focus too much on the future, we risk losing sight of the present, the very moments that we are preparing for. The future is important for planning, but if we gaze too far ahead, we may miss the life unfolding before us. Similarly, while the past offers valuable lessons, clinging to it can prevent us from fully living in the here and now, carrying forward the wisdom we've gained without letting it hold us back. Life unfolds in the present. The future may be shaped by preparation, and the past can offer guidance, but it's in the present moment where we truly live. Death, as inevitable as it is, will come when it comes, beyond our control. What we can control is how we choose to live today. This time we have now is precious, and it's ours to decide how we spend it. Grief is natural, but it cannot change what has already passed. If we pour our energy into sorrow, it serves no purpose other than to keep us stuck in a cycle of helplessness. Grieving without action only prolongs our suffering. Instead, we must take the helm of our own life, regardless of the storms we face, and steer it with resolve. The ship of life may be tossed by waves, but the one who holds the wheel, no matter the outcome, deserves praise. Don't let the future unsettle you. Face it with the same calm and reasoning that you apply to today. Challenges will come, but they do not define us. A wise person knows that adversity, whether personal loss or societal crisis, will strike, but it doesn't need to overwhelm us. We endure, not by resisting the inevitable, but by holding firm in the face of it, not letting fear control our minds. Life is like a long, challenging campaign. There will be moments of watchful waiting, reconnaissance, and struggle. But this is our battle, our journey. We must remain alert, focused, and steady in our resolve. We do not control every event, but we do have the power to accept things as they come and find peace in doing so. When we stop demanding that life unfold according to our desires, we begin to flow with it, and in doing so, our lives will find harmony. The chief task in life, the fundamental task in life, is to discern between what is within our control and what is not. Once we make this distinction, we can clearly understand where to focus our energy, on our own choices and actions. True goodness and evil do not lie in external circumstances, but within ourselves, through our decisions. To seek virtue is to pursue it for its own worth, unaffected by fear, hope, or outside forces. Happiness, in its essence, comes from aligning with what is virtuous and in harmony with the universe. Our greatest power lies in the use of our impressions, the ability to direct our responses to life's challenges. We must focus on what we can influence and release the rest to the universe. It is not the events themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. A poorly instructed person blames external circumstances for their misfortunes, but a wiser individual looks within, realizing that the key to overcoming adversity lies in how they approach it. Ultimately, a person who is fully educated in the nature of existence no longer needs to blame anyone, either themselves or others. Ignorance is the root of all mistakes and misfortune, as it blinds us to the deeper truths of life. We fail to recognize the nature of our world, the purpose of our existence, and the realities that surround us. Those who cannot distinguish good from evil, truth from falsehood, will live guided by impulses and misunderstandings, unaware of the reason that should govern their desires and judgments. In life, we are all bound by circumstances, but these chains vary in form. Some are gold, others rusty, but they bind us all equally. Some are enslaved by external forces, honor, wealth, power, while others are ruled by internal tyrants, fear, ignorance, or desire. All life is a form of servitude, and the key is to embrace our condition as it is, making the best of what we have without unnecessary complaint. A calm mind can find comfort even in the harshest situations, for it is not the external that causes suffering, but our perception of it. We have the power to reshape our views at any moment. We often compare ourselves to others, believing that wealth or eloquence equates to superiority. But this is an illusion. These are merely external attributes. You are not your possessions or your abilities. They do not define you. The true measure of a person lies within. When we give in to anger or temptation, we are not just facing a single instance of weakness. We are reinforcing the habits that lead to further suffering. Each time we succumb to these impulses, we strengthen their hold on us. Just as a physical illness leaves traces in the body, emotional and mental habits leave their mark on the soul. To change, we must work to undo these patterns, gradually shifting our behavior and responses. If you wish to conquer anger, do not feed it. Instead, practice restraint, counting the days when you are not angry. Track your progress, and as you improve, celebrate your victories, however small they may seem. Just as we improve our physical health with consistent effort, we can also strengthen our mental and emotional well-being through conscious practice and discipline. Ultimately, the key to happiness lies not in external circumstances or achievements, but in mastering our responses and cultivating a life of virtue, awareness, and peace. When you have trouble getting out of bed, when struggling to get out of bed, remind yourself that your purpose is to engage with the world as a human being, not to stay in comfort. The point of life is not to avoid hardship, but to fulfill your role and contribute to the greater good. Reflect on the unnecessary things we hold on to, not out of need, but because they're there. Seek simplicity. Focus only on what is essential, because most of what we do is not vital. Ask yourself constantly, is this necessary? Doing less with greater purpose brings peace. Wealth is not inherently evil, but it can lead people to selfishness and harm when they seek it at any cost. True discipline is not for show. It should be private, for personal growth, not for the praise of others. If you're committed to something, do it without expectation of recognition. A life of justice, kindness, and integrity is what you were born to live. Most people care more about how long they live than how nobly. Yet, a noble life is within everyone's reach, while longevity is not. In life, strive to succeed by your own merit, but never at the expense of others. Evil lies in injustice, cruelty, and indifference. Virtue resides in empathy, kindness, and the pursuit of the common good. Courageous people are not afraid of threats, whether at home or in exile. True courage comes from speaking your mind and living by your principles. Philosophy does not promise external rewards, but guides us on how to live well. The wisdom of philosophers should be practical and actionable, not distant or theoretical. Apply their teachings in your pursuit of a fulfilling life, living in line with your principles. The true measure of life is not in external circumstances, but in how we respond to them. Understand what is within your control and what is not. True happiness comes not from what we hope for in the future, but from finding contentment in the present moment. Seek not to bend life to your will, but to accept life as it unfolds. In doing so, you will find peace. Hard work and virtue endure long after the effort is spent. Pleasure, pursued for its own sake, is fleeting, leaving only regret. Like a gem polished by friction, a person grows through challenges. Life's trials shape us into who we are meant to be. Be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. Be patient with others and strict with yourself. No one can have everything, but we can choose not to crave what we don't have and make the best use of what we do have. Earning respect begins with respecting yourself. Excellence isn't accidental, it's the result of intention, effort, and intelligent action. Life is not random, but a series of choices. Don't let fear control you, as we often fear things that never happen. Control your mind, don't complain about circumstances. Do what's right and speak the truth. Live transparently with nothing to hide, even from your enemies. Listen more than you speak and act with understanding. Accept truth rather than try to change it. To live happily, choose positive thoughts and be true to yourself. Simplicity, patience, and compassion are the foundations of a peaceful life. Life is a natural flow of changes. Don't resist it. Let things unfold naturally without comparison or competition. Respect comes from living simply and authentically, not from seeking perfection. Know when to stand firm and when to yield. True strength lies in this balance. Live like water, soft yet powerful, knowing when to push forward and when to step back. Life isn't about grasping everything, but learning to let go and accept. Cause and effect. Cause and effect are shaped by our perception. If we believe one event causes another, we call it a reaction. If we think events are unrelated, it's a coincidence. If someone deserves what happens, it's retribution or reward, depending on the outcome. An accident occurs when there's no clear reason for two events to happen together. How we interpret events depends on our worldview, whether we see everything as interconnected or as mere coincidences that we assign meaning to. In meditation, the mind becomes still, like a flame in a windless place. True peace comes when we detach from desires and work for the sake of the work itself, not the results. The focus on success or failure often brings misery, but detachment leads to inner calm. Desires arise from attachment, and attachment breeds suffering. From desire comes anger and confusion, leading to loss of wisdom and ultimately destruction. In contrast, focusing on the present moment, today, is the key to a fulfilled life. Live with purpose, free from attachment, and you'll experience peace and clarity. Those who meditate and surrender to their duty, unaffected by the outcome, remain untarnished by sin, like a lotus untouched by water. The mind, when controlled, stays serene in all circumstances. Heat and cold, pain and pleasure, honor and dishonor. Self-realization is the greatest wisdom. By understanding your true self, you become your own friend. No external factor can shake your inner peace. You are the creator, preserver, and destroyer within, transcending all illusions. Death is inevitable, just like birth. Let go of fear and grief, for they only lead to confusion. Endurance through hardship brings victory. Be grateful for the lessons life offers, for even in struggle, we grow. Our thoughts shape our reality. Good thoughts bring happiness, evil thoughts bring suffering. Holding on to anger harms only the one who holds it. Life is fleeting. Embrace the present moment and live with kindness. True wisdom lies in peace, love, and fearlessness, not in words. Just as the ocean has one taste, salt, true discipline has one aim, liberation. Root of suffering. The root of suffering lies in attachment, a clinging to things, people, and ideas that are impermanent by nature. Suffering arises when we hold on tightly to what must inevitably change, or when we yearn for a future that has yet to come. To free ourselves, we must understand that true liberation comes from letting go, embracing life as it unfolds, and releasing the grip of desire and fear. Your purpose is not to escape life's challenges, but to discover your world with open eyes and an open heart, and to give yourself fully to it. Live with passion, but do not let it consume you like fire. Understand hatred, but do not let it poison you like a venomous sting. Recognize folly, but do not let it entangle you like a trap. See greed for what it is, a ceaseless torrent, and learn to step away before it sweeps you away. Happiness is not found in the endless pursuit of what you lack, but in the profound appreciation of what you already have. When you are fully present, every moment becomes an opportunity to feel gratitude, wonder, and joy. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, and only the present is real. It is here, in the now, that life is truly lived. At your core, you are not separate from the universe, but an inseparable part of its vast, flowing existence. Just as a wave is not apart from the ocean, but a manifestation of it, you are an expression of the infinite. Ground yourself in the present moment, for it is the only reality. The future, no matter how grand, holds no meaning unless you first root yourself in the richness of the here and now. In this truth lies freedom, peace, and the essence of true happiness. Life is, at its core, an invitation to simply live, to exist fully in the present, clear and unburdened. Yet so many are caught in a restless pursuit, chasing something elusive, something beyond themselves. They seek meaning in the future or cling to the past, unaware that the profound beauty of life unfolds only in the now. To live fully, we must let go of the rigid concepts and labels we impose on the world. In doing so, we uncover its subtlety, its vastness, and its miraculous nature. Life is not a puzzle to be solved, but an experience to be felt. You are not separate from the universe. You are the universe in motion, a manifestation of its endless creativity. In each present moment, you are exploring yourself, learning, growing, and evolving. The past is a shadow, and the future is a dream. Neither holds the essence of reality. Life exists only in the now, and to be present is to truly live. Change is the heartbeat of existence. It flows through everything, shaping and reshaping the world around us and within us. To understand change, we must move with it, not resist it. Resistance breeds fear, anxiety, and stagnation, while acceptance allows growth. Do not let the storms of desire or the weight of anxiety steer your actions. These forces, unchecked, can steal the moments that matter most. Instead, embrace the calm of presence. Meditation is not about escaping to lofty thoughts of divinity, but about anchoring yourself in the act of living, with awareness, clarity, and grace in every step, word, and breath. Societal conventions and the constructs of language often cloud our self-awareness, shaping identities that confine rather than liberate. But the truth is simple. Each of us is a continuation of the universe, not a fragment, but the whole in dynamic action. Just as a snake sheds its skin to grow, we, too, must shed the layers of our past, old fears, grudges, and outdated ideas, to embrace who we are becoming. Growth is not linear, it's a continuous unfolding. True happiness is not found in accumulation, but in the purity of a heart that lives with intention and love. When we show compassion, share kindness, and open ourselves to others, we connect to something greater. Love is not only a remedy for others, but for ourselves. Hatred, when met with more hatred, festers and destroys. Only love can end hatred, melting the barriers it creates and healing the wounds it leaves behind. Our thoughts, if left unchecked, can become our greatest adversaries. They can trap us in cycles of doubt, regret, and fear. But when we take responsibility for our inner world, we reclaim our power to shape our lives. Similarly, in the external world, we must care for others as we would wish to be cared for. If we turn away when someone is in need, how can we expect a hand when we stumble? Life is richest when it is shared, when generosity, kindness, and service to others.
The profound grief experienced by many after losing loved ones is a poignant reflection of the human condition. Even the anticipation of such loss can evoke deep anxiety within us. However, the Stoics recognize that the fear of loss and the agonizing pain of grief often stem from irrational thought patterns. This video delves into Stoic philosophy, examining its insights on attachment, the loss of loved ones, and navigating the inevitable separations that life presents. The Stoics, renowned for their emphasis on reason and virtue, observed that the fear of loss and the agonizing distress of grief often stem from irrational thinking. This video delves into Stoic philosophy, examining its insights on attachment, the loss of loved ones, and how to navigate the inevitable separations that life presents. Fear of loss. Strong emotional attachment to other people is deeply ingrained within the human experience, celebrated and normalized throughout societies. This is likely rooted in our biology, as humans are inherently social beings, wired for connection and belonging. The intensity of these attachments, however, varies significantly, ranging from fleeting fondness and casual attraction to deeply ingrained, almost obsessive dependencies. When we become deeply attached to someone, we often yearn for their constant presence, experiencing a profound sense of unease when they are absent. Conversely, when they are with us, the fear of separation can cast a long shadow, creating anxiety and a constant undercurrent of dread. This emotional dependence, however, can lead to significant psychological and emotional distress. By placing our happiness and fulfillment entirely upon the presence or absence of another person, we relinquish control over our own well-being. We effectively surrender our happiness to the whims of fate, allowing external circumstances to dictate our emotional state. The fear of losing those we cherish can become all-consuming, leading us to engage in desperate attempts to maintain control over their presence, often inadvertently pushing them away or creating resentment within the relationship. Furthermore, this desperate clinging to others often reflects a deeply ingrained selfishness. When we yearn for another person's constant presence, we are primarily motivated by our own desires, our own need for comfort and companionship, rather than by a genuine concern for their well-being or their own personal growth. This self-centered approach can strain relationships, hindering the natural flow of life and preventing both individuals from fully experiencing their own unique journeys. The selfish nature of attachment. At its core, the persistent effort to maintain the presence of loved ones in our lives often reveals an underlying selfishness. When we fervently desire someone to remain by our side, this desire rarely stems from a genuine concern for their well-being or their own personal growth. Instead, it primarily serves to fulfill our own selfish needs, our inherent aversion to separation, and our deep-seated fear of loneliness. This self-centered perspective can subtly distort our judgment and lead us to make decisions that are neither wise nor truly beneficial. Driven by our own desires, we may prioritize our own emotional needs over the genuine happiness and well-being of those we claim to cherish. We may inadvertently exert undue pressure, impose our own expectations, or even manipulate situations in an attempt to maintain the status quo, ultimately jeopardizing the very relationships we seek to preserve. The profound pain of loss, the grief experienced after the death of a friend, the heartbreak of a departed spouse, the devastating estrangement from a child, often reflects this deep-seated sense of ownership. We experience such losses not merely as unfortunate events, but as a personal violation, as if something that rightfully belongs to us has been unjustly taken away. This sense of entitlement, this belief that we have a claim on the continued presence and affection of others, can significantly hinder our ability to cope with loss and move forward in a healthy manner. Loss and separation. The separation from those we care for is often accompanied by a profound sense of loss, a feeling that we have irrevocably lost something precious. However, from a Stoic perspective, this interpretation fundamentally misrepresents the nature of human relationships. The Stoics did not view such separations as losses, but rather as temporary returns, acknowledging that true possession of another person is an illusion. As Epictetus eloquently stated, "Never say of anything, 'I have lost it,' but 'I have returned it.' Is your child dead? It is returned. Is your wife dead? She is returned." This powerful dictum highlights a core Stoic principle, recognizing that external factors, such as our children, spouses, and possessions, ultimately lie beyond our control and therefore cannot truly be ours in the absolute sense. True possession, according to the Stoics, implies ownership and dominion, However, we do not possess other human beings. We share moments, experiences, and affections with them. Our relationships are not static entities, but dynamic, ever-evolving connections that are constantly subject to the ebb and flow of life. Birth, growth, change, and ultimately, separation are inherent aspects of these relationships, just as they are inherent aspects of all natural phenomena. To view these separations as losses is to fundamentally misunderstand their nature. It is to cling to an illusion of permanence, to resist the natural course of life, and to ultimately suffer unnecessary pain and distress. By embracing the Stoic perspective, we can learn to view these separations not as losses, but as natural occurrences, as temporary returns, and as opportunities for personal growth and spiritual development. We can cultivate a deeper appreciation for the time we have shared with others, cherish the memories we have created, and ultimately find peace and acceptance in the face of inevitable change. The Stoic perspective. When it comes to our relationships with others, most of us likely occupy a complex and nuanced space. While the blatant ownership of human beings, as was commonplace in Epictetus's time, is thankfully a relic of the past, subtle forms of possessiveness still permeate our interactions. Although we no longer explicitly view our employees, family members, or friends as possessions, we often harbor a subtle sense of entitlement to their presence and attention. We expect our friends to be available at our convenience, our employees to prioritize our needs, and our spouses to conform to our expectations. This inherent sense of entitlement stems from a deep-seated belief that these individuals somehow belong to us, that their presence in our lives is a given, and that they are obligated to fulfill our desires. This perceived ownership, however, is ultimately an illusion. True ownership implies absolute control, the ability to dictate the actions and destinies of others. Yet we have no such control over the people in our lives. They possess their own free will, their own desires, and their own paths to pursue. To believe otherwise is to deny their inherent autonomy and to impose our own will upon them, often leading to resentment, conflict, and ultimately the very separation we fear. From a Stoic perspective, this illusion of ownership is fundamentally at odds with reality. True possession, according to the Stoics, implies absolute control and unchanging permanence. Yet external things, including our relationships with others, are constantly in flux. They are subject to the inevitable forces of change, growth, and decay. To cling to the belief that we possess others is to resist the natural flow of life, to embrace an illusion that can only lead to disappointment and suffering. By recognizing the limitations of our control, we can cultivate a more healthy and fulfilling approach to our relationships. We can learn to appreciate the unique individuals we share our lives with, to respect their autonomy, and to cherish the moments we spend together, understanding that these connections are precious gifts, not entitlements. In doing so, we can cultivate a deeper sense of gratitude and acceptance, allowing us to navigate the inevitable challenges of life with greater grace and resilience. Recognizing the limitations of human control, Epictetus asserted that all external possessions are subject to the revolution of the universe, a force beyond our reach unless we were to wield the power of a god. The Stoic critique of romantic passion. Romantic love, often characterized by its passionate intensity, occupies a central place in contemporary society. We frequently describe romantic love as passionate, acknowledging its capacity to evoke profound and often volatile emotions. This intense emotional engagement is not merely tolerated, but often celebrated, with being in love frequently regarded as one of the most fulfilling and desirable human experiences. However, this emphasis on passionate romantic love stands in stark contrast to the Stoic perspective. The Stoics viewed the passions, those intense, often overwhelming emotions like anger, fear, and desire, as fundamentally problematic. When we are deeply attached to another person, our emotional state becomes inextricably linked to their presence or absence. The joy of their company is inevitably followed by the anxiety of separation and the potential for devastating grief. The Stoics argued that these intense emotional fluctuations stem from irrational judgments about the external world. For instance, there is nothing inherently good about another person's presence, nor is there anything inherently bad about their absence or loss. From a Stoic perspective, these events are simply neutral occurrences, part of the natural order of things. However, when we irrationally label these events as good or bad, we trigger a cascade of emotions, desire, fear, grief, that disrupt our inner peace and hinder our ability to live virtuously. These passions, the Stoics argued, arise from a fundamental misalignment between our judgments and the reality of the situation. Therefore, the Stoics sought to eliminate the passions, not by suppressing emotions entirely, but by addressing the underlying irrational judgments that give rise to them. Through reason and self-reflection, they aimed to cultivate a more objective and detached perspective, allowing individuals to navigate the challenges of love and loss with greater equanimity and resilience. Epictetus, the renowned Stoic philosopher, offered a practical approach to cultivating detachment from external possessions and relationships. He advised his followers to begin with the most insignificant and easily replaceable items. Begin with the most trifling things, the ones most exposed to injury, like a pot or a cup, and then advance to a tunic, a paltry dog, a mere horse, a bit of land. This gradual process of detachment, starting with the trivial and gradually progressing towards more significant attachments, aimed to desensitize individuals to the pain of loss and cultivate a sense of equanimity. He further emphasized the importance of examining one's own judgments. Look about on every side and cast these things away from you. Purify your judgments for fear lest something of what is not your own may be fastened to them or grown together with them and may give you pain when it is torn loose. Epictetus recognized that our emotional distress often stems from our own judgments, from clinging to the illusion of ownership and control over external things, including our relationships with others. By cultivating a more objective and detached perspective, we can minimize the emotional impact of loss and learn to accept the inevitable changes that life presents. According to Stoicism, with consistent practice and diligent cultivation of the right mindset, it is indeed possible to let go of strong attachments to other people and to bear the inevitable separations that life presents with greater equanimity. This does not imply emotional coldness or indifference, but rather a deeper understanding of the nature of human existence, an acceptance of the impermanence of all things, and a focus on cultivating inner peace and virtue. By detaching ourselves from the illusion of ownership and embracing the fluidity of human relationships, we can navigate the challenges of life with greater resilience and find solace in the enduring values of virtue and wisdom. Challenge of loss. A common misconception about Stoicism is that it demands a complete suppression of emotions, particularly in the face of loss. This is a significant misinterpretation. While cultivating equanimity, a state of inner peace and tranquility, is a central goal of Stoic philosophy, it does not imply emotional numbness or the eradication of all feelings. Maintaining equanimity after the loss of a loved one is undoubtedly one of the most challenging tests of human resilience. Even for the most dedicated Stoics, such as Epictetus, Chrysippus, and Seneca, achieving complete emotional mastery was likely an ongoing process, a lifelong pursuit rather than a static endpoint. The Stoics acknowledged the existence of proto-emotions, involuntary physiological and psychological responses that arise automatically in response to external stimuli. These include the initial jolt of fear when encountering danger, the instinctive flinch of the body, or the involuntary tearing up upon hearing of a tragedy. These proto-emotions are not considered irrational. They are natural, instinctive reactions that are beyond our immediate control. The Stoic focus lies not on suppressing these initial, involuntary responses, but on preventing them from escalating into full-blown passions, intense, disruptive emotions such as anger, grief, or despair. These passions, the Stoics argued, arise not from the external event itself, but from our own irrational judgments about that event. For example, the loss of a loved one is undeniably a significant event, but it is neither inherently good nor inherently bad. It is simply a fact of life, a part of the natural order of things. However, when we irrationally judge this loss as a personal tragedy, as an unjust deprivation, we unleash a cascade of negative emotions that can consume us. One of Seneca's letters offers a poignant perspective on navigating the grief of loss. He emphasizes the importance of accepting the natural course of events, acknowledging the impermanence of all things, and finding solace in the memories and the enduring impact of the deceased on our lives. He encourages us to cultivate gratitude for the time we shared with our loved ones and to focus on living a virtuous life in their honor. In conclusion, Stoicism does not advocate for emotional suppression. Instead, it provides a framework for understanding and navigating the emotional landscape, for distinguishing between involuntary proto-emotions and the destructive passions that arise from irrational judgments. By cultivating a more objective and accepting perspective, we can learn to navigate the challenges of loss with greater resilience, finding solace in the enduring values of virtue, wisdom, and human connection. In 41 AD, the Roman Emperor Claudius, under the influence of his ambitious wife Messalina, exiled the renowned philosopher Seneca to the island of Corsica. Accused of adultery, a charge that many historians now consider dubious, Seneca faced the grim prospect of execution before his sentence was commuted. During his 8 years of exile, Seneca wrote a series of letters to his mother, Helvia, offering solace and guidance as she grappled with her son's misfortune. One of Seneca's most poignant letters addresses the issue of grief. Recognizing the profound emotional impact of his exile on his mother, Seneca cautioned against unrestrained mourning. He observed that ancient Roman customs, while allowing for mourning periods, also placed limits on excessive grief. They did not forbid them to mourn, he wrote, but they set limits to their grief. For while it is a foolish weakness to give way to endless grief when you lose one of those dearest to you, yet it shows an unnatural hardness of heart to express no grief at all. The best middle course between affection and hard common sense is both to feel regret and to restrain it. Seneca's perspective on grief diverges somewhat from the ideal of complete emotional detachment often associated with Stoicism, as exemplified by the philosophy of Epictetus. While Epictetus emphasized the importance of cultivating equanimity and minimizing the impact of external events on our inner peace, he acknowledged that complete emotional indifference to the loss of loved ones is neither realistic nor desirable. Seneca, recognizing the inherent limitations of human nature, offered a more nuanced approach. He acknowledged the inevitability of grief while emphasizing the importance of moderation and self-control. He encouraged his mother to navigate her grief consciously, to find a balance between honoring her emotional response to the loss and preventing it from consuming her entirely. Furthermore, Seneca recognized the crucial role of philosophy in cultivating emotional resilience. He urged his mother to engage with philosophical texts, to apply Stoic principles to her daily life, and to cultivate inner strength through contemplation and reflection. By cultivating a deeper understanding of human nature and the impermanence of all things, he believed individuals could learn to navigate the challenges of life, including the inevitable pain of loss, with greater grace and acceptance. The experience of loss is an inherent part of the human condition, a poignant reminder of our mortality and the fleeting nature of our time on earth. By exploring Stoic philosophy, we can gain valuable insights into managing our attachments, cultivating inner peace, and finding meaning and purpose even in the face of loss.
Marcus Aurelius and the Art of Embracing Fate. Marcus Aurelius, one of Rome's most revered emperors, never labeled himself a philosopher. Yet his reflections and meditations stand as a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, offering timeless wisdom on how to navigate life's inevitable challenges. These personal notes, written not for fame but as guidance for his own life, embody the Stoic principle of accepting fate and living in harmony with nature. Marcus believed that instead of resisting the world's natural flow, we should align ourselves with it. He argued that our well-being depends not on external circumstances, but on our ability to adapt and maintain inner discipline. To him, the key was to cultivate a flexible attitude toward life's unpredictability while holding ourselves to high personal standards. The human struggle with wanting. Despite such wisdom, human nature often pulls us in the opposite direction. We crave comfort, success, and recognition, expecting the world to cater to our desires. We want supportive relationships, boundless energy, and lives free from hardship. Many of us are dissatisfied with our flaws, comparing ourselves to unrealistic ideals and wishing we were different. This endless wanting sets the stage for disappointment. The more we expect from life, the more vulnerable we become to frustration when reality fails to meet our expectations. People will sometimes be unkind, dreams may remain unfulfilled, adversity will arise, and aging is inevitable. When we resist these truths, we hand over our emotional stability to forces beyond our control. The Stoic solution: acceptance. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, repeatedly urged himself to embrace reality as it is, not as he wished it to be. He saw life's challenges as opportunities to practice virtues like patience, resilience, and humility. Accepting fate does not mean resignation, but rather choosing to respond thoughtfully to what comes our way. This mindset frees us from the emotional turmoil caused by trying to control the uncontrollable. When we let go of our attachment to outcomes, we gain clarity and peace. We can pursue our goals with determination, but without being crushed by setbacks. We can face adversity with strength and treat imperfections, our own and others, with compassion, living in harmony with nature. To live well, Marcus taught, is to live in accordance with nature, both the larger cosmos and our own unique role within it. Life unfolds according to its own logic, indifferent to human preferences. Understanding this allows us to flow with life rather than struggle against it. When we align with nature, we find that many of our desires lose their grip on us. We begin to see challenges not as obstacles, but as necessary parts of our growth. This shift in perspective enables us to remain calm and focused, even amidst life's chaos. A timeless lesson. Marcus Aurelius' writings resonate deeply because they address the universal human condition. His call to embrace a timeless lesson. Marcus Aurelius' writings resonate deeply because they address the universal human condition. His call to embrace fate reminds us that peace comes not from avoiding life's difficulties, but from accepting them as integral to the journey. By focusing on what we can control, our actions, thoughts, and attitudes, we reclaim our freedom and learn to live with purpose and grace. Accepting others, a Stoic perspective. Imagine someone throws an insulting joke your way, perhaps even targeting someone you deeply care for. How would you react? Would you let anger consume you, or retaliate with harsh words, or worse, violence? A Stoic philosopher like Marcus Aurelius would advise a completely different approach. He believed in seeing events for what they are, no more, no less. When someone insults you, what has truly happened? Words were spoken, sounds uttered. But those words, in and of themselves, hold no power to harm you unless you grant them permission to do so. Marcus Aurelius wisely noted that emotions like anger, frustration, and sadness are not inherent in the insult itself. They arise from within us. As he put it, add nothing of your own from within, and that's the end of it. This mindset is rooted in a profound understanding of human nature. People are unpredictable, uncontrollable, and diverse in their behavior. Some are kind and virtuous, others are deceitful and selfish. Some act with wisdom and restraint, others indulge in irrationality and cruelty. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that, despite these differences, we all share the same human essence. This essence is a mix of beauty and flaws, light and shadow. For Marcus, accepting others means embracing their humanity, the good and the bad. He encouraged himself not to be disturbed by the presence of evil or the actions of immoral individuals. In his view, we exist to cooperate and support each other, not to fight against one another. Acting against others, no matter how justified it may seem, is contrary to nature itself. The limits of control. A common source of frustration is our desire for others to behave as we wish. We want people to be kinder, more understanding, or more aligned with our values. Yet, the reality is stark. People act according to their own will, shaped by their own experiences, beliefs, and desires. Their behavior, no matter how illogical or irritating, is ultimately beyond our control. We may influence others through reason, example, or persuasion, but we cannot dictate their actions or thoughts. Marcus Aurelius warns against wasting precious energy on futile attempts to change others. Instead, he advises focusing on what truly matters, our own thoughts, actions, and inner state. He wrote, "Don't waste the rest of your time here worrying about other people, unless it affects the common good. It will keep you from doing anything useful. You'll be too preoccupied with what so-and-so is doing and why, and what they're saying, and what they're thinking, and what they're up to, and all the other things that throw you off and keep you from focusing on your own mind." Living with wisdom. Accepting others doesn't mean condoning harmful actions or enabling bad behavior. It means recognizing that everyone is on their own path, shaped by circumstances we may not understand. By focusing on our own reactions and maintaining inner peace, we rise above the chaos that often stems from human interactions. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that we can't always control what happens, but we can control how we respond. When we stop fixating on the faults of others, we free ourselves to focus on personal growth, meaningful work, and living in harmony with nature. This is the essence of Stoic wisdom, finding strength not in changing the world, but in mastering ourselves. Embracing transience, the wisdom of impermanence. The fleeting nature of existence is a truth that great minds, empires, and entire civilizations have faced. Marcus Aurelius likened humanity to leaves in the wind, growing in spring, falling in autumn, and replaced by new ones. He understood that everything, no matter how significant it seems today, fades into the obscurity of time. Even the most revered emperors and philosophers are now reduced to dust, their deeds remembered only faintly, if at all. Life mirrors the cycle of the leaves. We emerge, flourish briefly, and vanish. Our existence is but a blink compared to the vast timeline of the universe. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, each of us lives only now, this brief instant. The rest have lived or are uncertain. To some, this impermanence brings sorrow. The brevity of life often leads to a desperate clinging to possessions, to achievements, or even to the idea of eternal youth. Yet these efforts to defy nature are futile. Time moves forward relentlessly, and much of our brief lives are spent grappling with decline. But there's liberation in accepting transience. The temporary nature of all things diminishes their weight. Reputation, material wealth, and applause are fleeting. Their significance fades as quickly as they arise. Marcus Aurelius observed how quickly even the grandest achievements are forgotten, swallowed by the abyss of time. This realization frees us. The knowledge that nothing lasts reminds us not to fret over trivial matters. Instead, it calls us to appreciate the present moment and focus on what truly matters. Life's brevity becomes a gift, a reason to live fully, to act decisively, and to embrace the now without regret or hesitation. From a Stoic perspective, impermanence is not something to fear but to cherish. It teaches us that every moment is an opportunity, every breath a chance to live with purpose. Instead of lamenting the shortness of life, we can find meaning in its ephemerality. By embracing transience, we transcend it. Embracing misfortune, the Stoic path to resilience. Life is inherently unpredictable, and misfortune is a certainty. No matter how much we wish for smooth sailing or pray for the absence of hardship, reality proves otherwise. Adversity, whether illness, financial setbacks, or emotional heartbreak, is woven into the fabric of existence. The question, then, is not whether we will face challenges, but how we respond to them. Many people resist misfortune, expending tremendous energy fighting against the inevitable. They rail against bad luck, curse the heavens for unfair treatment, and long for circumstances to change. When the weather turns gray, when health falters, or when loved ones disappoint, they crumble under the weight of their expectations. This resistance doesn't just amplify suffering. It adds a layer of frustration to life's natural challenges. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher-emperor, offered a different perspective. He argued that instead of yearning for a life free of misfortune, we should cultivate the strength to face adversity head-on. It's not about changing what happens to us, but about changing how we perceive and respond to it. This approach is grounded in the Stoic principle of the dichotomy of control. There are things we can control, and there are things we cannot. Marcus Aurelius famously advised focusing on what lies within our power. He wrote, "Isn't it better to act like a free person, doing what's within your control, than to live passively, at the mercy of external events, like a slave or beggar?" End quote. When we tether our happiness to external circumstances, be it wealth, relationships, or weather, we surrender our inner peace to forces beyond our control. A person consumed with the fear of their partner leaving or obsessed with avoiding failure gives power to uncertainty. In contrast, Stoicism teaches us to anchor our contentment in things we can influence, our thoughts, choices, and character. To illustrate, Marcus Aurelius encouraged people to redirect their prayers. Instead of asking for someone to love you, pray to let go of the desire for their affection. Instead of seeking to eliminate an enemy, pray for the strength to stop being consumed by their presence. Instead of pleading for a loved one to be saved, pray for the courage to overcome your fear of loss. This shift in focus transforms prayer into a tool for internal growth rather than external gain. It's not about controlling the world, but mastering oneself. Even in the face of the greatest misfortunes, a breakup, a financial ruin, or the death of a loved one, Marcus Aurelius believed we could maintain our equilibrium. He advised embracing the natural order of events, trusting that they unfold as they must. According to Stoic cosmology, what happens is part of a greater design, beyond our understanding, but not without purpose. By accepting misfortune, we strip it of its power to harm us. We learn to face challenges with composure, turning adversity into a crucible for growth. To the Stoic, even the harshest trials are opportunities to cultivate resilience, patience, and wisdom. As Marcus Aurelius concluded, when we align ourselves with fate and embrace events as they come, we achieve true freedom, free from fear, anger, and despair. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to misfortune is not resignation, but empowerment. It's about reclaiming our agency, focusing on what truly matters, and building an unshakable foundation of inner strength. Misfortune will come, but with the right mindset, it becomes a teacher rather than a tormentor. Accepting change, the natural law of the universe. Change is an inherent element of nature. Everything in this universe is born from change, and nothing is static. Not only does the world around us change, but we too are in a constant state of transformation. From the cells in our bodies that continuously regenerate until the moment we die, everything undergoes change. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, emphasized that change is not just inevitable, but an essential part of the cosmos. It is through change that the universe evolves, and ultimately, the balance of all things is maintained. Looking at our bodies, we can see this transformation clearly. Cells constantly renew themselves, replacing old ones with new, ensuring the continuity of life from one moment to the next. This constant cycle of renewal is akin to how nature operates, replacing the old with the new, perpetually moving forward without pause. Marcus Aurelius believed that this cycle was essential for the flourishing of the world and the universe itself. He wrote, "The world is nothing but change." This is a fundamental truth that we must accept. Change is not merely about the impermanence of things, but about the entire process of becoming different. There is no fixed state in the universe. Even the most stable objects, such as a peaceful landscape or a rock resting in the surf, are subtly changing over time, though less visibly than our speech or the movement of someone's body as they run. Every entity in nature is subject to change, whether it is the brief life of a mayfly or the enduring presence of a rock that has stood for centuries. Nothing lasts forever, and everything is born of change and will eventually return to it. Marcus Aurelius highlighted that without change, the world would cease to exist, and life itself would be impossible. Change is the foundation of life. The very essence of time and the unfolding of events in the cosmos are driven by this unstoppable force of transformation. We must accept this flow of change rather than resist it. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, the world is nothing but change, reminding us that everything we see and experience is part of this perpetual process. Embracing change and growth. While we understand that change is a natural and inevitable process, many people still fear it. We tend to cling to what is familiar, situations, objects, people, and ideas, hoping that they will never change, always remain as they are. However, the change we fear is already in motion. The sun's rising is always followed by the coming of night, and the warmth of summer is inevitably replaced by the chill of autumn. Trying to hold on to the status quo is like grasping water, hoping it won't slip through your fingers. Marcus Aurelius spoke about the impermanence of everything. Some things are rushing into existence, others are rushing out. Some of what now exists has already begun to disappear. Nothing in this world lasts forever, and everything, whether it is material or intangible, must go through change. Instead of fighting it, we should learn to accept it, for it is the very process that allows the universe to thrive. Without change, there would be no growth, no renewal, no life. Change and the path to inner freedom. If we accept that change is unavoidable, we can begin to live in harmony with it. Instead of fearing it, we can embrace change as an opportunity for growth and progress. It is through change that we define ourselves, create new things, and discover new possibilities. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, do not try to hold on to things as they are, but accept and live well in each moment of change. Life is not about seeking eternal stability, but about navigating the constant flow of change. Life is a continuous river, and we are mere travelers in it. No matter how much we might want to hold on to the past or predict the future, change is always unfolding before us. By letting go of our attachment to the idea of permanence, we open ourselves to the beauty of change, and in doing so we find strength and resilience in the face of uncertainty. The key is to embrace change with grace, to see it not as something to fear, but as a part of the natural order that helps us grow and evolve. By doing so, we free ourselves from the anxiety of holding on to the unchangeable and instead allow ourselves to flow with the current of life. In the end, it is through accepting change that we truly learn to live. Embracing your nature, the Stoic path to self-acceptance. In life, many people struggle with accepting their inherent qualities, their appearance, physical limitations, and the inevitable march of aging and mortality. These attributes, while natural, can sometimes feel like burdens, leading to dissatisfaction and a sense of inadequacy. But Marcus Aurelius, in his Stoic philosophy, emphasized that the key to peace lies in accepting these natural aspects of ourselves in the world. He urged himself to embrace the body's limits, understand the transient nature of existence, and recognize his place within the vast, interconnected web of life. For him, the solution to life's challenges wasn't to fight against these inherent aspects, but to live in harmony with them. It is easy to envy others for their superior attributes, whether it's a more athletic body, a sharper intellect, or seemingly better circumstances. Yet as human beings, we all face the reality that we are limited in some ways. We cannot change everything about ourselves, no matter how much we may desire it. While we may work to improve ourselves, we are ultimately bound by our physical, mental, and emotional nature. We cannot grow taller than our genetic potential or change the basic makeup of our personality. It is a hard truth, but one that must be embraced. One of the most profound elements of Stoic philosophy is its recognition of reason as a core component of human nature. Unlike other creatures, human beings are equipped with the unique ability to think rationally. This power of reason distinguishes us from our primal instincts and animalistic urges. While animals may be driven by their impulses, humans have the ability to pause, reflect, and make choices that align with wisdom and virtue. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the importance of using reason to navigate life's challenges. He wrote, "People find pleasure in different ways. I find it in keeping my mind clear, in not turning away from people or the things that happen to them, in accepting and welcoming everything I see, and in treating each thing as it deserves." His ability to find contentment in this rational approach is a testament to the Stoic belief that we can choose our response to life's circumstances, rather than merely reacting to them. The Stoics understood that human beings have the unique capacity to transcend their animal instincts. While emotions like fear, anger, and desire may arise naturally, we are not slaves to them. Through reason, we have the power to understand and redirect these emotions, transforming them into sources of strength rather than suffering. For example, when faced with an unpleasant circumstance, instead of reacting with frustration or resistance, we can choose to view it as an opportunity for growth and understanding. This shift in perspective, enabled by our rational faculties, is the cornerstone of Stoic wisdom. Rather than fighting against the nature of things, whether it's our physical limitations, the behavior of others, or the inevitable changes that come with time, the Stoics encourage us to accept what cannot be changed. This acceptance is not a form of resignation, but rather a rational decision to align ourselves with the flow of life, understanding that resistance only brings pain and distress. It is a conscious choice to release our attachment to outcomes and instead focus on how we can respond to the present moment with wisdom and grace. In conclusion, Stoicism teaches us that by accepting our nature and the limits imposed upon us, we can transcend the desire to change things that are out of our control. Through reason, we can navigate life's ups and downs with clarity and resilience, learning to live in alignment with the world's natural order. Accepting ourselves as we are, with all our imperfections and strengths, is not only a path to inner peace, but a pathway to living a meaningful, purposeful life.
The meaning of life is a grand enigma. We are born, we live, and one day, we die. The moments in between shape our experiences, yet the mystery of what came before and what comes after remains unsolved. This uncertainty has haunted humanity for centuries, prompting the perpetual question, what is the meaning of life? The quest for meaning has led people down different paths. Some find solace in religion, believing in a divine purpose and an eternal existence beyond this life. Others place meaning in relationships, love, or personal achievements. And yet, some embrace the philosophy of nihilism, the belief that life has no inherent meaning. Nihilism can be daunting, as it strips away the traditional constructs that give life purpose. But is it truly a void, or can it be transformed into a source of empowerment? The struggle with meaninglessness, the human experience, at its core, is a relentless pursuit of meaning. We crave a narrative, a guiding star, a reason to rise each morning and face the inevitable march of time. Yet, for many, this quest for meaning can become a treacherous journey, leading not to fulfillment, but to a chilling encounter with the abyss of nothingness. This existential dread often strikes when the foundations of our perceived reality begin to crumble. The comforting narratives we've inherited, the societal norms, the religious doctrines, the cultural expectations, suddenly appear as fragile constructs, built upon shifting sands. We question the whys with a newfound ferocity. Why do I adhere to these beliefs? Why do I chase this elusive notion of success? Why does any of this even matter in the grand scheme of the universe? And as we delve deeper, peeling back the layers of our constructed selves, we are sometimes met with a disconcerting silence, a void where meaning should reside. Throughout the annals of human history, countless philosophies and belief systems have grappled with this fundamental question: what is the purpose of our existence? Some, guided by faith, find solace in the divine, believing in a grand cosmic design, a creator who has imbued our lives with inherent purpose. Others, more secular in their outlook, find meaning in the tapestry of human connection, the bonds of love, the shared experiences, the ripple effects of our actions on the lives of others. For some, the sheer miracle of existence itself, the breathtaking complexity of the universe, provides a profound sense of awe and wonder, rendering any further search for meaning superfluous. However, even these seemingly robust sources of meaning can offer little comfort when confronted with the stark realities of life, suffering, loss, the inevitable march towards oblivion. The abyss of meaninglessness can loom large, casting a long shadow over our lives, leaving us feeling adrift and insignificant in the vast expanse of the cosmos. Nihilists, in their stark embrace of nothingness, paint a picture of existence devoid of inherent meaning. Suffering and joy, triumph and despair, these, to them, are mere fleeting sensations, ripples on the surface of an indifferent universe. This philosophy, with its chilling assertion that life is ultimately meaningless, can be deeply unsettling. Yet it is a reality that many grapple with at some point in their journey. The moment we begin to question the deeply ingrained beliefs that have shaped our worldview, we step into a disconcerting liminal space, a twilight zone between the familiar and the unknown. This internal upheaval often commences with a deceptively simple inquiry: why? This seemingly innocuous three-letter word, however, possesses the potency to unravel the very tapestry of our understanding. It acts as a seismic tremor, shaking the foundations of our carefully constructed belief systems, transforming certainty into a haze of doubt and familiar ground into a treacherous abyss. Like a ship tossed upon a tempestuous sea, we feel adrift, yearning for a stable anchor in the face of this existential uncertainty. Yet, within this unsettling dissolution of our pre-existing frameworks lies a profound opportunity for growth and self-discovery. When the edifice of our inherited beliefs crumbles, we are presented with the unique chance to rebuild, to construct a new and authentic philosophy of life, one that resonates deeply with our own values and aspirations. We are liberated from the constraints of preordained meaning and empowered to forge our own path, to imbue our existence with a unique and personal significance. Finding freedom in nihilism. Nihilism is often perceived as a grim philosophy, one that strips life of meaning and leaves behind a void of despair. However, when viewed through a more empowering lens, nihilism can be a gateway to profound freedom. If the universe lacks inherent meaning, we are liberated to define what matters most to us. Rather than succumbing to hopelessness, this realization offers an opportunity to shape our own purpose, aligning life with our deepest values and passions, embracing personal responsibility. In a universe untethered by divine decrees or cosmic mandates, the responsibility to create meaning falls squarely on our shoulders. This perspective frees us from the constraints of societal expectations, religious doctrines, and conventional life paths. It encourages us to carve out our unique journey, one that reflects our individuality. Personal responsibility becomes an empowering force, allowing us to make choices that align with our own values, seek joy in our passions, and live authentically. Living with intention, understanding life's fleeting nature brings into focus the beauty of each moment. In the absence of eternal meaning, we are reminded of the value inherent in the here and now. Every day becomes a canvas, inviting us to fill it with learning, growth, and meaningful experiences. Whether through nurturing relationships, celebrating personal achievements, or practicing acts of kindness, we hold the power to infuse our lives with significance. By living with intention, we savor the transient beauty of existence and craft moments that truly matter. Redefining success and happiness. Traditional notions of success, wealth, status, or societal recognition are often shaped by external pressures. But in a world without predetermined meaning, success and happiness become deeply personal concepts. We are free to reject the societal mold and define these ideas for ourselves. Whether it's traveling the globe, creating art, raising a family, or simply enjoying the quiet pleasures of daily life, the power to determine what fulfills us lies in our hands. This freedom allows us to craft a life rich with meaning on our own terms, contributing to something greater. While nihilism suggests life has no inherent meaning, the impact we have on others can resonate far beyond our individual existence. By helping others, sharing knowledge, or creating something valuable, we contribute to a collective human experience that transcends our temporal lives. This sense of connection reminds us that even in a universe devoid of absolute purpose, our actions can leave a lasting and positive imprint. A new perspective on freedom. Nihilism need not be a sentence to despair, but an invitation to liberation. In acknowledging that life's meaning is ours to define, we unlock a profound sense of freedom. We can live with purpose, not imposed by external forces, but crafted by our own hands. It is within this realization that we find not only freedom but the courage to live authentically, passionately, and fully. Throughout history, some of the most remarkable individuals, scientists, artists, thinkers, and leaders have faced the existential weight of nihilism. They grappled with the realization that life, in the vastness of the cosmos, may lack inherent meaning. Yet, rather than succumbing to despair, they chose to rise above it. They used this awareness as fuel to create, innovate, and inspire. For them, the impermanence of life was not a curse, but a call to action, a reason to leave an indelible mark on the world. When we consider the impermanence of existence, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by a sense of futility. However, the fleeting nature of life can also be profoundly motivating. If nothing matters in the grand scheme, then every choice, every action, every creation has the potential to matter just as much, or as little, as we decide. This perspective transforms nihilism into a source of empowerment, reminding us that meaning is not discovered, it is made. A new perspective on freedom. Nihilism need not be a sentence to despair, but an invitation to liberation. In acknowledging that life's meaning is ours to define, we unlock a profound sense of freedom. We can live with purpose, not imposed by external forces, but crafted by our own hands. It is within this realization that we find not only freedom but the courage to live authentically, passionately, and fully. Throughout history, some of the most remarkable individuals, scientists, artists, thinkers, and leaders have faced the existential weight of nihilism. They grappled with the realization that life, in the vastness of the cosmos, may lack inherent meaning. Yet, rather than succumbing to despair, they chose to rise above it. They used this awareness as fuel to create, innovate, and inspire. For them, the impermanence of life was not a curse, but a call to action, a reason to leave an indelible mark on the world. When we consider the impermanence of existence, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by a sense of futility. However, the fleeting nature of life can also be profoundly motivating. If nothing matters in the grand scheme, then every choice, every action, every creation has the potential to matter just as much, or as little, as we decide. This perspective transforms nihilism into a source of empowerment, reminding us that meaning is not discovered, it is made. Turning despair into drive requires courage, the courage to confront the void and see it for what it truly is, potential. It challenges you to let go of what no longer serves you and to replace it with values, goals, and passions that align with your authentic self. By embracing this perspective, you transform nihilism from a source of despair into a wellspring of purpose and creativity. So, pick up your brush. The canvas is blank, but it is yours. Paint your masterpiece, not because you must, but because you can. In doing so, you reclaim your agency, breathe life into your dreams, and prove that even in the face of nothingness, everything you create can have meaning. Meaning in life isn't a gift bestowed upon us, it's a creation. An act of will, shaped by our choices and actions. Whether you believe in fate, the power of personal achievement, or the sheer randomness of existence, one truth remains constant: every new day is an opportunity to define what life means to you. The question is simple yet profound: what will you do with your time? Will you allow the fear of meaninglessness to paralyze you, or will you rise above it, taking charge of your own narrative? The power lies within you to transform uncertainty into purpose, emptiness into possibility, and fleeting moments into something beautiful. Choosing to create your own meaning is a declaration of freedom. It's an acknowledgement that, while life may lack inherent meaning, it doesn't have to lack significance. Beauty exists in the connections you build, the passions you pursue, and the legacy you leave behind. So, go forth boldly. Write your story, paint your masterpiece, live with intention. The absence of predetermined meaning is not a limitation, it's an invitation. An invitation to shape your life in a way that reflects your values, your dreams, and your unique spirit. Even in a world without inherent purpose, your life can be deeply meaningful. The power to make it so is yours. Embrace it and create something extraordinary.
To cultivate self-discipline, it's worth turning to the timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who ruled from 161 to 180 AD. Often hailed as the last of the 5 good emperors, Aurelius was not only a leader of a vast empire, but also a deeply introspective philosopher. Despite the demanding nature of his role, he took the time to pen down his thoughts, creating a series of writings that have since become renowned as meditations. These reflections, often poignant and pragmatic, delve into how one can develop inner strength, resilience, and above all, self-discipline. Aurelius's wisdom resonates across centuries, offering practical insights into how individuals can master themselves and their impulses in the pursuit of a meaningful life. His words provide a clear roadmap for cultivating discipline, urging us to align our actions with our purpose, build resilience, and overcome distractions. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius presents a collection of powerful lessons on how to overcome challenges, stay focused on goals, and develop the unwavering persistence needed for success. Here are 10 essential principles from his writings that remain relevant today for anyone seeking to strengthen their self-discipline. Through his reflections, Marcus Aurelius not only guided an empire, but also offered enduring lessons that continue to inspire individuals striving for personal growth and fulfillment. If you're looking to foster deeper self-discipline, let his words become a source of inspiration, pushing you to explore the depths of your purpose and tap into the inner strength that lies within. Number 1, self-discipline begins with finding your purpose. Marcus Aurelius, in his writings, profoundly stated, "I have to work as a human being. What do I have to complain about if I am doing what I was born to do? The very things I was brought into this world to accomplish? Or was I created simply to huddle under blankets and stay warm?" This statement reflects a deep truth about the purpose of every individual. Aurelius believed that each of us is born with a specific mission or purpose, something we are meant to fulfill. It is this purpose that drives us to get out of bed every morning and face the day. When you have a clear understanding of your goals and how your tasks contribute to them, you are far more likely to achieve those goals. The most powerful source of self-discipline comes from having a reason to act. If you are unsure about what to do, just start. If you want to be a writer, write every day. If you want to be an artist, create something every day. You don't need any more motivation, research, or advice. Just begin practicing what interests you and take each day as an opportunity to move forward, because it is your purpose that fuels your inner drive, desire, and motivation to keep progressing towards your goal. Self-discipline is about discovering compelling reasons to take action and committing yourself to see the task through to the end. Self-discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do something difficult. It's about understanding the significance of your actions. When you have a clear purpose and recognize the importance of each step, you will possess the inner strength to stay committed and never give up. Number 2, rely on yourself. Marcus Aurelius advises us to transform our desires into stone, suppress our cravings, and focus our minds inward. Once you have discovered your purpose, it's time to take a more methodical approach and create a practical plan of action to achieve your goal. This isn't just about committing to the end result, but also about committing to the small, often unnoticed tasks and actions that lead you there. Self-discipline is not merely about making a decision, it's about seeing that decision through with relentless commitment, even when the obstacles seem insurmountable. It's the ability to push forward, regardless of your mood, energy levels, or any external distractions. Success in life, whether personal, professional, or emotional, depends on your ability to take action consistently. Every achievement you desire, every role you wish to fulfill, and every dream you hope to realize hinges on this one simple principle: your ability to get yourself to do what needs to be done, even on the days when motivation is low or the work feels overwhelming. To begin, create a structured and practical plan with clear goals and a timeline for achieving them. Break down your goal into smaller, actionable steps. These milestones allow you to track progress and maintain a sense of direction, which is crucial when the road ahead seems long and uncertain. By dividing your objectives into manageable chunks, you ensure that you can tackle each part systematically without feeling overwhelmed by the bigger picture. This approach allows you to maintain control over your work and reduces the chances of being paralyzed by indecision or a sense of dread about the tasks ahead. With smaller, more achievable steps in place, you can move forward with confidence, even on the toughest days. The greatest danger is falling into the trap of overwhelm. When you let the enormity of your goal paralyze you, it's easy to slip into procrastination. Procrastination, left unchecked, turns into stagnation, a state where no progress is made and self-discipline starts to erode. This stagnation is the antithesis of self-discipline, and it's something that you must vigilantly avoid at all costs. To overcome this, stay focused on the process, stay accountable to your own plan, and remember that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. Number 3, commit to showing up every day. Marcus Aurelius wisely advises, you must build up your life action by action and be content if each one achieves its goal as far as possible, and no one can keep you from this. Even if you have a solid purpose and a well-constructed plan, most people still fail to achieve their goals. In fact, studies show that a staggering 95% of people fail, not because their goals aren't worthwhile, but because they lack one crucial element: consistency. The key to success and the foundation of self-discipline is showing up every single day, no matter how small the progress may seem. It's easy to be inspired at the start, energized by the excitement of a new goal or project. But true discipline comes when that initial rush fades and the grind sets in. Showing up even when you don't feel like it is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. The simple act of being consistent, of showing up every day and putting in the work, is what truly builds mental resilience. The more you immerse yourself in your craft, the sharper your focus becomes. You develop an intimate understanding of the process, the struggles, the challenges, and ultimately the rewards. The road to success is rarely a straight path. It's filled with countless hours of hard work, practice, and persistence. Self-discipline isn't just about doing something once in a while when it's convenient or when you feel inspired. It's the ability to push through on days when motivation is nowhere to be found, when you're exhausted or overwhelmed. It's about developing the habit of showing up again and again until the work becomes a part of who you are. Over time, this consistency will begin to feel like second nature, almost automatic, and that's when the results start to appear. But here's the critical truth: a single setback doesn't define you. Let's say you miss a workout or fall off track with your goals. That one misstep doesn't make you a failure. It's the act of getting back up and continuing the journey that truly shapes your character. Self-discipline is about having the strength to push forward, even when you stumble. Remember, a bad day doesn't have to turn into a bad week, and a bad week doesn't have to derail your entire year. The important thing is to remember that each new day is an opportunity to start fresh. When you wake up, embrace the new day as a new beginning. You are not defined by yesterday's mistakes or missed opportunities. Today is a clean slate, and it's your chance to move forward, focus on the task at hand, and continue building the life you've set out to create. Whether you're making progress or facing challenges, every moment you show up and put in the effort moves you closer to your goal. Self-discipline is the steadfast commitment to show up no matter what, and it's that commitment that will ultimately lead you to success. Number 4, Embrace voluntary hardship. Marcus Aurelius once wisely said, "We should discipline ourselves in small things, and from there progress to things of greater value." The essence of this teaching is to cultivate a form of discipline that doesn't simply focus on achieving easy comfort, but pushes us to endure discomfort and challenge. In life, it's easy to become attached to comfort, seeking immediate relief from pain or discomfort, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. However, true strength and resilience are built through voluntary hardship, the conscious decision to subject ourselves to small, controlled difficulties that over time cultivate our inner fortitude. Voluntary hardship is more than just enduring discomfort for the sake of it. It's about deliberately stepping out of your comfort zone and embracing challenges that toughen your mind and body. By choosing hardship, you're actively conditioning yourself for future challenges and adversities that you cannot avoid. It's a form of preparation and ongoing mental and physical training that strengthens your ability to face adversity when it comes knocking in real life. This doesn't mean you should put yourself through unnecessary suffering. Rather, it's about making intentional choices to live without conveniences that we often take for granted. For example, skipping a meal when you're used to eating on a regular schedule, or choosing to go without your smartphone or social media for a few days. Forcing yourself to live without distractions and the constant need for instant gratification. This allows you to experience the discomfort of restraint and practice patience. Another powerful form of voluntary hardship is abstaining from the comforts you rely on daily, like taking cold showers to feel the discomfort of temperature extremes, or choosing to sleep on the floor for a night to experience discomfort in your body. You might even intentionally leave your jacket at home on a cold, rainy day, forcing yourself to deal with the weather as it is, without seeking shelter or protection. These acts, though seemingly small, build resilience and mental toughness by demonstrating to yourself that you don't need external comforts to feel whole. There's also immense value in practicing generosity or self-denial as a form of hardship. For instance, donating a portion of your clothes to charity or letting go of material possessions that you've grown accustomed to. By voluntarily relinquishing your attachments, you open yourself up to personal growth and resilience. It teaches you the power of selflessness and the ability to be content with less. The point of voluntary hardship is not about making life unbearable, but about intentionally stepping into discomfort to show yourself that you can endure more than you think. As you practice these small, intentional hardships, you'll develop a deeper sense of strength, independence, and self-reliance. The more you expose yourself to challenges that push you beyond your limits, the more capable and self-disciplined you will become. The result is a mind that becomes comfortable with discomfort and a body that learns how to endure. When life throws challenges your way, you'll find yourself more equipped to handle them with patience and calmness. Voluntary hardship teaches you that true growth lies beyond the comfort zone, and in the end, the ability to endure discomfort is what prepares you for the harder battles that lie ahead. Number 5, embrace the dichotomy of control. Marcus Aurelius once stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This simple yet profound insight underscores one of the most important principles for maintaining self-discipline and mental clarity. In life, it's all too easy to become overwhelmed by external events, unforeseen circumstances, interruptions, or even the frustrations of daily life. But letting these external forces dictate your mental state and derail your focus is a surefire way to squander your discipline and hinder your progress. The key to avoiding this pitfall lies in understanding and embracing the dichotomy of control, a concept passed down from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus. The dichotomy of control teaches us to differentiate between what is within our control and what is beyond it. In any given situation, we are faced with two things: the external events and our internal response to them. The former is beyond our influence, while the latter is entirely within our grasp. When you begin to internalize this concept, you will realize that many of the things that cause stress or frustration are simply outside your realm of control. External events, the actions of others, the weather, or even the economy, these things cannot be changed by you. However, how you react to them, how you choose to perceive them, and how you decide to let them affect your mental state, this is what you can control. By acknowledging what is beyond your control and letting go of the desire to change it, you liberate yourself from unnecessary worry. This mindset frees up your energy to focus on the things that truly matter, those aspects of your life that are within your power to shape. Think of it as a form of mental triage. The moment you find yourself becoming agitated or distracted by external events, ask yourself, is this something I can control? Can I do anything about it right now? If the answer is no, then release it. There's no benefit in dwelling on things you cannot change. Instead, return to what is in your power, the actions you can take, the decisions you can make, and the way you can respond. In these moments of distraction or frustration, remind yourself of the following mantra. Do I have a problem in my life? No. Then let go. Yes. Can I do something about it? Yes. Then take action. No. Then let go. This powerful technique has an almost immediate calming effect. It brings your mind back to what is truly important, helping you reclaim your focus and energy. The peace that comes from accepting what is beyond your control leads to greater emotional resilience, allowing you to stay composed and disciplined, even in the face of adversity. By embracing the dichotomy of control, you create space for tranquility and clarity, making it easier to remain focused on your goals and maintain the self-discipline needed to achieve them. When you stop wasting energy on things you can't control, you'll be amazed at how much more strength and peace you can cultivate within yourself. This simple yet transformative principle is an invaluable tool in your journey toward lasting self-discipline. Number 6, take ownership. Never play the victim. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do your job without whining." This simple yet profound advice cuts straight to the heart of personal responsibility and mental resilience. It's all too easy to fall into the trap of making excuses, attributing our circumstances to factors beyond our control, and adopting the victim mentality. How many times have you heard or even said to yourself, "I was just born this way. I never had the opportunity to learn anything else. Or everyone else does it, so why can't I?" These are not just excuses. They are barriers to growth, and they prevent us from taking the necessary steps toward change. At the core of self-discipline is the ability to stop playing the victim. It's a way of thinking that limits your power and shrinks your world. You need to understand that taking responsibility is the first step toward liberation. The "why me" mindset might seem like a natural reaction when things go wrong, but it keeps you trapped in a cycle of helplessness. The truth is, whether you're at fault or not, the only thing that truly matters is how you choose to respond to the situation. Taking ownership of your actions, decisions, and circumstances, regardless of external factors, is what empowers you to take charge of your life. Rather than looking for reasons to blame the world or others, the key is to ask yourself, what can I do about this? What is within my control? Life won't always be fair, and people won't always treat you the way you expect. But what you can control is how you respond. When you constantly find excuses and reasons to feel victimized, you relinquish your personal power. You allow your external circumstances to dictate how you feel, and that creates a sense of helplessness that erodes your mental toughness. On the other hand, embracing the mindset of ownership requires mental fortitude and maturity. It means looking at any setback or failure, no matter how unfair it seems, and saying, "I will take responsibility. I will find a solution. I will do whatever it takes to overcome this." The shift from self-pity to self-empowerment is one of the most profound changes you can make. It takes courage, but it is the path to mental strength and true personal growth. The person who owns their life isn't someone who cowers in fear or succumbs to defeat. They are the person who steps up in the face of adversity, refuses to blame anyone else, and takes proactive steps to solve problems. Even if the situation is not their fault, they take it upon themselves to correct the course. This kind of mental resilience is what builds self-discipline, because it forces you to keep moving forward regardless of external factors. When you play the victim, you give up control. You stop making decisions, you stop taking actions. The more you do this, the more you weaken your sense of responsibility and personal agency. Conversely, when you take responsibility for your actions, no matter how difficult or unfair the situation seems, you empower yourself to make meaningful changes and take the necessary actions to achieve your goals. Taking ownership isn't just about blaming yourself when things go wrong. It's about recognizing that ultimately you have the ability to change your life, your thoughts, actions, and decisions through sheer will and determination. This is what separates the achievers from those who never seem to get anywhere. Victimhood is a trap, but ownership is the key to personal freedom and lasting success. Number 7, master the art of delayed gratification. Marcus Aurelius urged us to rise above fleeting pleasures and focus on long-term growth, saying, "So you are born to feel nice instead of doing things and experiencing them." Delayed gratification is about resisting immediate temptations in favor of more meaningful rewards down the line. It's not just about saying no now, but about developing the self-control to create a better future with the choices we make today. For example, choosing healthier options at a party might seem difficult, but it leads to long-term benefits, like better health and confidence. Delayed gratification is the foundation of self-discipline. It's the ability to choose what's hard now for a greater future reward. In a world filled with instant access to pleasure, mastering this skill is what separates those who achieve greatness from those stuck in short-term satisfaction. By practicing delayed gratification, you invest in your future self. This discipline teaches you to prioritize long-term goals over momentary desires, leading to lasting success and fulfillment. The more you practice it, the more you'll see how rewarding it truly is. Number 8, don't be deterred by the opinions of others. Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "When another blames you or hates you or people voice similar criticisms, go to their souls, penetrate inside, and see what sort of people they are. You will realize that there is no need to be wrapped with anxiety that they should hold any particular opinion about you. As you pursue your goals, you'll inevitably face naysayers, people who criticize, doubt, or try to undermine you. Often their negativity stems from their own fears or insecurities. They may not understand your vision and try to project their limitations onto you. However, their opinions only have power if you give it to them. To build self-discipline, learn to detach from these external voices. View criticism from naysayers as background noise, irrelevant to your journey. Don't let their doubts shake your resolve or affect your self-worth. Instead, stay focused on your path and the people who support you. Keep your energy directed toward growth, and remember that your achievements will speak louder than their words. Number 9, learn from the wisdom of others. Marcus Aurelius said, "It'll even do to socialize with men of good character in order to model your life on theirs." This highlights the importance of learning from those who embody the qualities you want to develop. Self-discipline doesn't have to be a solo journey. Often, the most effective way to grow is by emulating those who have already mastered it. Look for role models who have successfully achieved the goals you're working toward. These might be friends, family, or even historical figures. Ask yourself, who has the discipline I admire? Seek out these people and ask them about their habits, challenges, and the actions they took to reach their goals. By learning from their experiences, you can fast-track your growth and avoid common pitfalls. In addition to personal role models, consider studying influential figures from history or philosophy. People like Marcus Aurelius offer valuable lessons on discipline that can be applied to your own life. Understanding their experiences, successes, and setbacks helps you realize that discipline is a learned skill, not an innate trait. Surrounding yourself with disciplined individuals provides inspiration and a roadmap to follow. Their consistent actions and mindset will motivate you to adopt similar habits, strengthening your own resolve. By learning from those who've already achieved what you aim for, you set yourself up for success in building self-discipline. Number 10, reflect and evaluate your day. Marcus Aurelius said, "These are the characteristics of the rational soul: self-awareness, self-examination, and self-determination." To build self-discipline, it's crucial to reflect on your actions daily. At the end of each day, ask yourself, did I stick to my goals? What went well, and where could I improve? This reflection helps you identify patterns, both positive and negative, in your behavior. Honest self-assessment keeps you accountable and helps you stay aligned with your objectives. It's not about criticizing yourself, but learning and growing. Just like an athlete reviews their performance, reviewing your day helps you refine your actions and stay committed to your goals. This consistent practice of reflection transforms self-discipline into an ongoing, actionable process.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.